And
Good morning, everyone. We're in the mortgage syndicate this morning, paying off all debt, paying off mortgages, paying off student loans in an average of 7 years. And this is going to be a very good topic today. Did Dave Ramsey diss P.I.L.L method? If you look into you might have looked in the subject of this prior to getting in here, and you may see a link. All right. And that link is from Dave Ramsey's own website in a video where they mention the P.I.L.L method. And we're going to see exactly what he says and how he feels about it this morning. And we're going to talk about it. And so if you are a fan of Dave Ramsey, come up to the stage. If you don't necessarily care for Dave Ramsey, come up to the stage. So whatever is going on here, we want to tell the truth this morning about what's really going on with our finances and why Dave Ramsey says what he says. Miss Dawn, how are you doing this morning?
I'm awesome. I heard you. I was trying to share the room and got stuck.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Listen, I know you did. Listen, go ahead and tell us who you are and what you do, please.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Dawn Robinson, the Money PhD. I'm a financial educator, single mom of twins as a teenager, turned millionaire by age 44. But that was not without me paying off $140,000 in 17 months. So I'm excited about the show today. I'm on a journey to help other women 40 and up start late, finish rich, and so they can have true financial independence. And this is Dawn, and I'm done speaking.
All right. Thank you, Dawn. Listen, folks, we need to get some more folks in here because they're going to come in late and they're going to miss some of this. So right now, let's go ahead and start sharing the room. Can we get 10 shares right now so that we can pump up the numbers in the room so we got 20 people in here now. We have 33 people who've come through the room. So if we could just share the room, can we just share the room just a few more times? If we can get up to 10, we're going to play that video. We're going to play the video of a young lady calling in and asking a question about how does prepayment of principal actually work. And when you hear the whole, we're not going to play the whole 9 minutes of him talking about this. You can, we're actually going to put the link in the chat. Okay. We're going to put the link in the chat so that you can go ahead and watch it for yourself a little bit later. But once you watch that, you're going to find out that he never really answers her question. And there's a reason why. So go ahead. Let's share. We're up to 5 shares right now. Let's go ahead and keep sharing it. We got up to 21 people in here. And if you want to see what's going on, please click on the link above and you'll see there. If you go to the link above, you'll see once you get to my 10K card, watch us live. And then you can watch us live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Go to a secondary device. Once you go to a secondary device, then you can watch this and still participate with us on Clubhouse. All right. So that you can see and hear the video. This is straight from Dave Ramsey's website. And in fact, I owe him a debt of thanks. Okay. I owe him a debt of thanks. And the reason why is because, I've had videos on for the last 10 years. Okay. And I have millions of views, but I don't have one video that has more than 1 million views. I don't have one single video with 1 million views. Do you realize that this video where they talk about the P.I.L.L method from his site, this one has over 1 million views. So I thank Dave Ramsey from the bottom of my heart for doing that, because he puts our name out there more and more often. And when we listen, if you have an opportunity, just Google P.I.L.L method, and you'll see that we take up most of the first 3 pages when you mention Google. So this has actually helped our search engine optimization all across the board. So I am thankful for this video today, but we're going to get into what's going on here in just a few minutes. We got 5 shares. Can I get 5 more? Can I get 5 more shares? And then we're going to play the video, and then we're going to talk about it. I just need 5 more shares to get a few more people in. Oh, see, they're coming in. The folks are coming in. They want to see what's going on. So, okay, we're up to 6. Let's go. I need 4 more. Can I get 4 more shares? And then, because see, listen, the way that the algorithm works is that people don't know we're here until you actually share it out in the hallway, and that they can see you're here and they say, oh, there's something going on here. I want to come in too. So let's go ahead. Let's share it. Let's get it out there 4 more times. I've actually shared it. Dawn has shared it. And I want to thank right now. Okay, I want to thank Jonathan for sharing it. I want to thank Dawn for sharing it. Who else has shared it? We have a total of 6 shares already. All right. And we're up to 7. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, man, the folks are coming in. Miss Brenda, thank you for coming in here. Clarissa, thank you for stopping by. Jonathan, thank you, because you're faithful today. And we have some people thanking us coming into the room. All right. I'm praying that this will be a good day today. Savoy, thank you very much. Michelle is in here. Brian just popped into the room. Russell is here. Candace is here. Stacy is here. Thank you very much for being in the room. Let's go ahead and get 3 more shares, folks. Miss Naomi is here, and she has a party hat on. Thank you so much. And while we're getting up to 10, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And for 16 years, we've been teaching people how loans actually work. And when you know how they actually work, then you can come up with a way to cut your interest cost by about 75%, not your interest rate, but your interest cost. And by doing that, friends, you can eliminate all of your debt, your mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards, everything in an average of 7 to 9 years. How do we do that? By not focusing on the debt. We focus on the interest cost. Why is there long-term debt? Because there's interest. Every other program out there focuses on how fast to pay off the debt, when we should be focusing on how cheaply we can pay off the debt. Folks, we need 2 more shares, and I'm going to play this video for the first time, and then we're just going to talk about it. Okay. Can I get 2 more shares? And then we're going to play the video. Now, if you can't see it, you'll be able to hear it on Clubhouse. And then we'll play it a couple of times. We're up to 9. We just need 1 more, folks. 1 more. And we're getting oh my goodness, we're getting the folks in. We're getting them in. Come on, 1 more share. And then we're going to play the video. And then I would like to have some feedback from the audience. Raise your hand, come up to the stage, and let's get your input on what we're talking about today. 1 more share, folks. I just need 1 more. 1 more. Go down to the bottom, hit that little button down there that has the little square with an arrow coming out of it, and share the room. And listen, the comments are open as well. Miss Sheila, how are you doing? All right. 1 more, folks. We just need, oh man, and we've got a couple of clips as well. So folks, come on, let's get that 1 more share, and then we will, there it is. All right. So folks, listen intently. If you want to watch it, especially on YouTube, you can go to ice10kvideos.com and go to the live and watch it, or you can hit the button on my 10K card and choose whichever streaming platform you want to watch this on. Okay. So let's go ahead and play the video for the first time.
Good.
So I am more of like a future planner. Like, I don't like to think just like, where are we going to be in 5 years? Like, I'm thinking more about the mortgage when my husband graduates, because we'll have a much larger income. Mm-hmm. And I have heard a lot about like prepaid interest or prepaid principal, and they don't really understand how that works. Like I was watching the P.I.L.L method, and then he was talking about taking out loans, and I was like, this guy's a nut. So I just stopped listening to it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I was at, was how do principal payments work?
Yeah, it makes it sound like there's some kind of...
All right, folks, did you hear that? He didn't ask her, what is the P.I.L.L method? He didn't ask her that. He didn't say, what are you talking about? All right. And I need you to, and if you're watching this, I need you to watch very closely. As soon as she mentions prepayment of principal, watch his body language. Everything changes as soon as she mentions that. Let's do a split screen and let's watch this as he does this. Okay, so let's watch his body language. Let's play it one more time. And as soon as he finishes, he says, yeah, he is a nut. We're going to stop it right there. Go ahead.
Like, I don't like to think just like, where are we going to be in 5 years? Like, I'm thinking more about the mortgage when my husband graduates, because we'll have a much larger income. And I have heard a lot about like prepaid interest or prepaid principal, and they don't really understand how that works. Like I was watching the P.I.L.L method, and then he was talking about taking out loans, and I was like, this guy's a nut. So I just stopped listening.
Okay, folks, did you hear that? So somebody raised their hand, and with Miss Donna, we're trying to invite you up to speak. All right, let's see if we can get you up here. Does anybody else want to come to the stage? So what did you guys hear there? Okay, you can put it in the chat. You can put it into, you can come up to the stage, but what did you hear? I'm open. All right, Miss Dawn, while we're trying to get entice some people to come up to the stage. All right, let's talk about what did you hear when he made that comment?
I just heard him. He had a quick judgment. He was like, yeah, he is an idiot. I think that's what the word he used.
Okay.
So that's what I heard. Just a quick judgment, no investigation of kind of what it is, and explain or tell me more.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Miss Dawn. Miss Donna, how are you doing this morning? Miss Donna, I see. Go ahead and hit that microphone in the lower right-hand corner. You can unmute and we can hear you. There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're correct. He shunned it before she even had a chance to explain it. So obviously he's heard about it, but it's obvious that people want this country to stay in debt and not to be out of debt too. But of course, we know that the P.I.L.L method is a great method. It's something that I've been knowing about, to pay on the principal. Why wouldn't a person want to? Why would you want to continue on spending all your money on interest?
Okay. So listen, folks, and when you listen to the rest of this, when you get an opportunity to listen to the rest of it, he never really answers her question. But just by the fact that he folded his arms when she started to mention prepayment of principal, is that he understands it. My videos have been out there for over 10 years. Okay. And he and his staff probably know exactly what we're talking about. In fact, he goes on to say in other videos, and if you do more research, he talks about programs, computer programs that you don't need to help you to get out of debt. You can do this on your own. He's talking about this program. He's talking about you don't need help. All you have to do is pay more. And let's talk about it, folks. He has helped hundreds of thousands of people. He has. I mean, that program literally works. There is a slight problem with it, though. It's very inefficient in how it works. Okay, so we're going to get into what's going on here and why. We're going to play that. We have just a few more people in here. Let's go ahead and play that one more time. And then when we play that clip one more time, then we're going to get into it, and let's start breaking it down this morning. Okay, one more time.
Larger income. And I have heard a lot about like prepaid interest or prepaid principal, and they don't really understand how that works. Like, I was watching the P.I.L.L method, and then he was talking about taking out loans, and I was like, this guy's a nut. So I just stopped listening to it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I was at, was how do principal payments work?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's break this down. She says, how do principal prepayments work? How do they work? And we're going to get into how they work and why he doesn't want, why he never answers her question. Okay. So first of all, let's get the obvious out of the way. Okay. And I've got my show notes over here on the side. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Number one, Dave Ramsey has helped millions of people, and he continues to help people get out of debt. And I am not here to say that his program does not work. It does work. It has helped a lot of people. But I want to tell you today that it has hurt as many people as it has helped. Even the people that it's helping, it's hurting at the same time. And why is that? Let's get into how a program can help and hurt at the same time. So we're going to put a different thing. We're going to put something on the screen this morning, an amortization schedule on the screen. Let me plug in my computer. All right, so let's go ahead and put an amortization schedule on the screen, and we're going to get into what's really going on here. Because see, listen, even though the lady obviously didn't care for what I was saying, there was enough there in my video for her to bring it to Dave Ramsey. And when she brought it to Dave Ramsey, she wanted to understand fully, is there something there? Is there something there about prepayment of principal that I don't understand yet? Because it's, from what I heard, some of it caught her attention, even though she misunderstood what I said. Let's try to break it down. Let's figure out what's going on here. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to break this thing down. Okay. So let's take a look at prepayment of principal and why he never answers her question. So we're going to put a $200,000 mortgage in here, because I think later on in the video, he talks about 200,000 and he starts to do it 6%, but then he changes it to 3%. But 6% is more relevant now. Okay. Now watch this. As we are paying back a loan, okay, what makes it inefficient, okay, is the amount of interest that goes to the amount of your payment that goes to interest. So we have a 6% interest. The payment is $1,199.10. I need you to take a look at payment number one here. Payment number one, $199.10 goes to interest. $1,000. I'm sorry, $199 goes to principal. $1,000 goes to interest. Let's take a look at this and break it down. Okay. So if we take, I'm going to put a calculator on the screen. All right. Where's our calculator? There it is. Boom. And we pay $1,000 out of that payment. Okay. So if we take $1,000 and divide it by 11.99.10, that's the payment. So what percentage of the payment is interest? And when we do the math, we see that it's 83%. I need you all to just kind of focus in here with me just for a minute. And we're going to break down why he doesn't answer her question. When you make this mortgage payment, every dollar that you're using at this point, for every dollar you're paying on your mortgage, 83 cents of that dollar goes to interest. Only 17 cents of that dollar goes to the principal, or actually pays back the loan. What? 17 cents? Is that what's really going on here? 17 cents out of every dollar here goes to the actual loan The rest of the money, 83 cents out of every dollar, goes to interest. So, folks, number one, why are we focused on how fast to pay back the debt, how early we can pay off debt, when we should be worried about how expensive it is to pay off the debt? Miss Dawn, what do you have to say? Do you have an opinion on that? I know you're probably in the back channel again. So, Miss Donna, do you have an opinion on how expensive it is to pay off debt? Nobody's on the stage with me?
I'm here.
Right.
I'm here. My was in the drive-through, so I didn't want it.
Oh, listen, if you're out and about, are you near the office?
No, I'm Madison. We're still working on the short-term rental.
Oh.
But I'm here. I can't wait to see when we get into discussion about this, because where I came from. I came from Dave Ramsey, so we'll see.
All right. Well, listen, if you came from Dave Ramsey, talk to us about how beneficial it was. Please.
So I did accomplish my goal, right? But it has, and let me say this, I did accomplish my goal, and it did help. What I didn't understand is the amortization schedule, which is what you're teaching, and that would have been a benefit as well. So we're gonna go here. I appreciate the example that you just showed about what's the expense, because even though I always talk about I paid off $140,000 in 17 months, I don't know the amount of interest that I did cancel. So I do like this example, or how expensive it was, and was that the best decision at the time. So I like this example.
All right, folks. So this is what we're talking about today. So we have a few more people that come into the room. We got Duckman, Tiana is back. Thank you so much. We got Miss Keisha. We have somebody named Daniel in here. That's a great name. All right. Daniel is a great name. Love it. Miss Nicole, Pamela, Brian, Charlene is in the house. So folks, I need you to listen to this very, very carefully. If we are not careful, we're going to adopt an idea that will get us out of debt. It will definitely get us out of debt. But if we're not careful, we're going to pay 75% more interest to get out of debt because we're not paying attention. Here is something, if you're clipping, you need to clip this. All right. Dave Ramsey says that your debt is not a math problem, it's a behavior problem. I will repeat that. It is not a math problem, it is a behavior problem. And what I'm here to tell you is that, yes, it is a math problem. By not understanding the math problem, it leads to the behavior problem because we don't understand the math. We don't understand debt. We don't understand how it works. So if we don't understand how it works, debt will take advantage of you. When you understand how it works, you can take advantage of it. All right. So do you want debt to continue to take advantage of you by not understanding it? Or do you want to understand it so that you can borrow money at a discount? How many of you have ever heard of layaway? I'm old enough to know about layaway. Any of you, listen, if you know about layaway, go ahead and put a number 9 in the chat for me. And if you're online, go ahead and put number 9 in the comments. All right. If you've heard about layaway. Okay. So you're making a payment on something. Okay. If you're making a payment on something, and layaway is that you would go to the store and say, I want to put these things on layaway. And you go in and you pay on it every week or so. And then when you're finished paying on it, you can take it home. All right. So you pay a little bit on it every week. All right. And they don't charge you anything for it. They don't charge you a thing for it. So let me ask you, if you understand layaway, is there any benefit financially to paying off the layaway early? Let's say you plan to pay it off in 8 weeks. Is there any financial benefit in paying it off in 4? Miss Dawn, what do you think?
No.
Nope.
Not layaway.
No, not for layering.
financial.
So it's like borrowing at zero interest. It's like, you don't really have it just yet, but they're not charging you any interest. So if they're not charging you any interest, there is no benefit to paying it off early. But if you pay off a mortgage early, or your student loan early, or any other loan early, there is a financial benefit. You save on the interest. Now watch this. We're back here to our program here, and you see it on the screen that the amount of interest that you pay, 83% of your payment goes to interest, and only 17% goes to your principal. And it doesn't get much better after that. The first payment is $1,000 in interest. The second one is $999, $998, $997, $995. Now, what Dave Ramsey does tell the lady is absolutely true about how the interest is figured. And we're going to put that on the screen right now. Watch this. Watch this when we put this on the screen, folks. So if we put this on the screen, we're looking at, he says, take the interest rate, okay, which is 6%. Okay, we're taking the interest rate by 6%. All right, that would be 0.06. We're going to divide that by 12, and we get 0.005. Okay, 0.005. All right, and all right, so let's go ahead and. Okay, we got somebody else wants to come in and start talking a little bit. All right, so we got 0.005. Now, he says if you take that 0.005 and multiply it by the unpaid balance, okay, by the unpaid balance, here's what happens: $199,800.90. Okay, so now we're going to do this, multiply it by $199,800.90 equals $999. Do you see that the interest cost on line 2 is figured that way from taking the $199,800.90, multiplying it by 1/12 of the interest rate, and you get the interest cost on the next line. Now, I need you to focus in here right now. What did we just find out? That the bank isn't taking 6% of the entire loan amount and then try to figure out how much interest you're going to pay over time. What they're doing is they're taking the 1/12 of the interest rate and multiplying it by the unpaid balance 360 times. It's not one mortgage. It's 360 separate mortgages. By understanding the math, you can make sure that they charge you fewer times because you're going to take control of when you give the bank money. When you take control of the timing, you take control of how much interest they will charge you. All right. Now, watch this. So if we take this, all right, and let's just say we got Mr. Tiny Home Plug here. What's going on, man?
Hanging out, buddy. What's up?
All right. So listen, go ahead and introduce yourself right quick, and let's get back into this thing because you're right here in Huntsville with Dawn's here in Huntsville as well. We all need to get together. Listen, man, we can do some great things.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I'm Jeremy Winger. I'm the Tiny Home Plug. I focus in on affordable housing and creating ways that, where in real estate, most people think of a dead deal as really just a dead idea. So I go in and help to really engineer and find out what can we do, create something that's going to be either both profitable, sustainable, and functional, based on who we're going to serve. Working backwards all the way through is not just acquisition, but also to financing and being able to make sure that per that project, it's going to be A, approved by the city, and B, also too, it's going to be something that people want and the experience that they're going to have. And that way, and by proxy, it's going to have a great numbers, great systems, and also to a potential exit as well.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Listen, folks, I need you all to listen to this. I need you all to listen to this very, very closely. Now, if we understand the math here. Here's what we need to understand. By prepayment of principal, this is where he did not fully explain this to the lady in the entire video. And I thank him for 1,072,267 views of this very video that we just played earlier. 1 million times people have heard the name P.I.L.L method. Do you think they went and researched it and saw some of these videos that actually explain what prepayment of principal actually does and why he cannot? I'm going to tell you why he cannot explain it the way they need to explain it. Watch this. So when we make a mortgage payment here in January, okay, we can actually see February's principal payment, which is $200.10. If we prepay that, meaning pay it before February 1st, just $200.10. If we prepay it, guess what happens? We're paid down to $199,600.80 in the same month. And then the bank has to calculate my next interest payment on the $199,600, not the $199,800. That means my interest payment or my next payment on this loan for February actually falls to line 3. I can skip an entire payment for just $200.10. You see, folks, if you don't know how much interest you're saving when you prepay, that's a problem. And when you don't know how much you're saving, then you can use methodology that will make you feel good while you're getting out of debt, when at the same time it is hurting your family tremendously. What? I'm talking about the debt snowball. The debt snowball, if you're using it, hurts your family as you are helping your family. It helps you to get out of debt. But you watch this. I need you to focus in here one more time. Now, let's see what happened. When we pay the $200.10 early, we eliminate one line from our mortgage payments already. We instantly turn 360 monthly payments into 359 monthly payments. We just removed a monthly payment with $200.10. Now, the interest payment of $999, that is eliminated as well. That gets canceled. This is what I was showing in the video that the lady was watching, and she wanted to understand this part. What does it mean to prepay principal? And what it means is not just paying off the mortgage fast, folks. What it means is paying off the mortgage cheap. Oh my goodness. All right, we have Mr. Sean 10K in the room. Sean 10K, what's going on, man?
Man, I heard this Ramsey was looking for you. You want to fight? I can't support my guy. What's up, man?
Listen, man, what do you think? So listen, we're going to be playing this video again, just a second, as soon as I make this one point. Okay. And then we're going to play that video again because we have a few more people in the room. Folks, we have 39 people in the room. We have 11 shares. Can I get 4 more shares to get us to 15? Because we have some valuable information. Do you know how many millions of people right now are using the debt snowball to get out of debt? They have no idea how much it's hurting them. So I need your help. This is going out on.
Don, I gotta stop you for a second. You see,
Go ahead.
The Bible said, "If whatever you ask for, you'll get." Now, if you have 39 people in the room and you're only asking for 15 shares, you're only gonna get 15 shares. So I want to expand that search and say, guys, everyone in the room, if you respect the information that Don is putting down there, if you appreciate the value that he brings, click on the share button and share the room so everyone can be alerted to what's going on. Everyone can be educated from the information, and you'll know that you're adding to the value of the room. Okay, I'll go back in there.
Thank you very much, 10K. Listen, 10K, while you're here, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how valuable what you do is while I get a drink of water.
Okay, Don, sounds good, man. First of all, so good morning to everyone in the room, first of all. Second of all, if you are a professional or a business owner and you're looking to promote what you do, let the audience know who you are and what you do, the digital business card is the best way to do so. You can put your website, your phone number, your email, your social media, your calendar, your books, anything that you have that you want to promote to the client, to the audience, you can put it all in one place. And we're the guys that help you with that. You don't have any hard work to do, we do it all for you. So if you are in business and you're looking to win, definitely tap into those here 10K cards. Hit me up in the back channel. Let us go to work for you. And with regards to what Don is promoting here, guys, I've been rocking with Don now for over a year, and I can tell you this for a fact. I've interacted with customers who are getting results from him. So if you are a homeowner or you know someone else that owns the home, pull them into the room, guys. It's not just about the share, but it's about letting others know what can help them and their family. You really want to live a purposeful life, guys? Start helping other people to succeed. And watch how easy life will become for you. With that said, Captain Don, I'm here to support. Back to you.
Thank you very much. All right,
Did
folks.
Don want to drink a gallon of water?
I think he's still chugging it. John?
Listen, man, I'm here.
Don,
I'm
you
here.
go to the gym plus drink a gallon of water. What's going on with you?
Listen, man,
Back to you.
I'm here. I'm
You're
here.
really prepping. You're really prepping for this fight, huh?
All right, man. Listen. This is what we got. All right, so let's get back here. So now watch this, folks. This is going to be so exciting. I need more people to see this. If you want to see it, go to ice10kvideos.com or click on my 10K card. See how versatile it is. See how powerful this is, because we have all the links in my card. I can build this card out any way I want. Click on the link. You'll see that you can watch us live on 4 different social media platforms. You just choose which one. All right. And then share it out to people. Listen, if you're watching us live right now, go ahead and share it, because I'm getting ready to tell you why Dave Ramsey is not answering this lady's question about how prepayment of principal actually works and why he can't. Not that he doesn't have the ability. He cannot, because it goes against what he's teaching. Oh, all right, watch this. So if we pay this $200 early, all right, if he goes to pay this $200 early, then we save $999 in interest that we never have to pay. And now we're on line 3. In fact, we can tell by looking at this loan how much interest the bank wants us to pay over a lifetime: $231,676. $231,676 in interest the bank wants you to pay over 30 years. We just showed you how to reduce that number by $999 in interest just by giving the $200 you were going to give the bank anyway, but you chose the timing and you saved the same amount of interest that the bank was going to charge you. How powerful is that? Why didn't he just tell her that? Here's why. Because I also have, and we're going to get into how our program works, where he says that you don't need an expensive piece of software to tell you to pay early. And he's right. You don't need an expensive piece of software to tell you to pay more on your mortgage. What you do need is someone who's going to do the math for you so that you can calculate so you can save the most interest per dollar. Right now, the way that the bank does their math, don't you think the bank is using math, some sophisticated math, to get to where we are doing? Let me show you how complicated this thing is when we're not careful. Okay, let me show you something on the screen. All right, so we're going to duplicate this tab. We're going to go here, and then we're going to ask for, this is an amortization. Come on, down tight.
Hey, Dawn, while you're doing that, I just wanted to jump in because I think that when we use Dave Ramsey, because I came from Dave Ramsey using the snowball, right? And I think just so I could make sure that the room understands and be in full integrity, is that the debt snowball works, but the method that you teach is a better way to eliminate debt. It's quantifiable. Like you will know. With the snowball, you can estimate, right? And with your program, you know the year, day, and month. And you also can see whether purchasing a new home or a new vehicle, or what those new purchases while you're on your debt journey, how it impacts it. I think those are some big differences. Having done both programs, or at least understanding both programs, and I also think that the coaching that you provide is another aspect that Dave Ramsey really has just gotten into, because I am a certified coach of his as well. So in order to show up in full integrity, understanding both programs, I just wanted to explain that this one is a better way. You can get the results, but this is a better way to do it, and a most cost effective way to do it as well when it comes to paying back interest or canceling interest.
I think you're right. And I think we need to focus on that right now, is that, and I will say it again. I said at the top of the show, I need to say it again. This program works. Dave's program works. It's been helping people for 25, 30 years. I mean, it's helped millions of people get out of debt. What we're saying is that it's hurting at the same time. And we're going to show you how it hurts, why the debt snowball is hurting. At the same time, it's helping get out of debt, because it's not paying attention to the interest cost of getting out of debt. It only pays attention to how fast or how soon you can get out of debt, but not how cheaply you can get out of debt. And there's a big difference. Watch this, folks. Watch this. So we have Mr. Jonathan Bing in the room. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Mr. Jonathan Bing, thank you so much for providing this space, the Mortgage Syndicate, and sharing your space with us this morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm on top of the world, Don. Thank you for having me.
All right. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks, man, because, I mean, listen, you're a force to be reckoned with.
Okay. I didn't know that. Good morning, folks. I'm Jonathan Bing. I'm the president and owner of Nation Mac Mortgage, and I'm also co-CEO of Cinch Business Academy, the presenter of the Play to Play Excel. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan. So, folks, do you see on my screen here? This is the math that's being used. This is the formula that amortizes your loan. And then to have someone say, oh, all you have to do is just pay more. All right. When you do that, you begin to think that anything you do to get out of debt is as good as any other thing you can do to get out of debt. You begin to think that whatever you do, you don't have to pay attention to the results. You just do whatever you need to do to get out of debt, and that's going to be okay. Because of this formula, I'm going to show you why how you get out of debt matters. All right, this formula right here. So let's go back. Let's go back, and we show that by paying $200 in your own timing saves $999 in interest. So let me show you a car loan here. Okay, we have a car loan of $25,000, and it's for 5 years. $460 is the payment. Okay, and it's at 4%. 60 months, payment is $460.41. According to Debt Snowball theory, if you have some debts, okay, and one of them is this car loan, you should, because it's $25,000, okay, it's less than the $200,000. We should totally focus on this car loan to pay it off. And I'm going to show you in our system, by paying it off 2 years early will give you a good feeling. Okay, because that's the whole idea. When you do this program, the Debt Snowball program, it's about small wins and getting good feelings. I asked the question in my book, how much do you want to pay for your good feelings? Okay, watch this. So when we're paying off this loan, look at the interest payments here. The interest payments are $83. Okay, so if we're going to focus on this so this is a 5-year loan, we're going to focus on this loan for the next 2 years. Okay, the next 2 years, so that we can save part of this interest. And as we continue to do this, we pay this loan off 2 years early. We will save interest on this loan, no doubt. We will pay this loan off faster, no doubt, because we're going to do it in 2 years instead of 5 years. Okay, but watch this. the amount of interest, if you pay this loan off completely today, $25,000. If you paid it off all in one day, here's how much interest you would save. $2,624.60, because that is the total amount of interest that the bank can legally charge you in 60 months. The total amount is $2,624.60. If you pay for the car cash today, you save all of the $2,624.60. If you pay it off over 2 years, then you're going to save part of the $2,624.60. Now watch this. While you're focusing on paying this car off over the next 2 years early, which means if you have this same mortgage, you're paying the minimum payment on the mortgage for the next 2 years. If we're doing that, in the first year on this mortgage, to pay it down by $2,456.01, you're going to pay $11,933.19 in interest in the first year, while you're focusing all of your attention on the car loan to pay it off faster. But what we should be looking at is how much interest we can save. We can only save a portion of $2,600 over the next 2 years. While we're focusing on the car in the second year, we're paid $23,714.90 in interest on the mortgage while we're focusing on trying to pay off the car in 2 years. Does anybody else see this? Listen, if you're in the audience and this is a revelation to you, please raise your hand, come up to the stage. Will the moderators please help me bring some folks up, because I'm watching this screen. And I'm getting excited here right about now. We're at 20 shares. Can we get up to 30 shares? Because we have 68 people in here right now. Let's get some more folks in here so that they can learn more about how lending actually works. And the reason why we spend so much time on it, one of the reasons is because of how people understand how lending actually works. Jonathan Bing is a nationwide lender. He has seen the value of understanding how loans actually work. And I want to stop right here and to tell you why. Because he teaches a course on how to become a business purpose lender. And as far as we know, of all the courses out there that teach lending and how to become a business purpose lender, broker, and to become an MLO, a mortgage loan originator that needs to be licensed, they give a course on that as well. So here's what has happened all over the nation. No course out there is teaching the loan officers how a loan actually works so they can advise their clients on how to save money. For the first time in Mr. Jonathan Bing course, the P.I.L.L, they're actually included in there this part of how to understand how a loan actually works so that his students can teach their clients how to save more money. Watch this, folks. Whoa! Now I need you to focus in on this. Miss Dawn, I see you flashing your mic. What do you have to say about what we just went over?
So I think that's an important part. And like I said before, when I paid off $140,000 in 17 months, the way that I did it could have been more efficient. And so I did end up paying off the 5 mortgages, but I think that having software, and that's the benefit of what I think the P.I.L.L method offers, is being able to use a tool that can help you make some decisions. Because although it freed up cash flow, it might not have, I'm sure it did not help me save the amount of interest had I focused differently on the type of mortgages or the type of debt I was paying off and the manner in which I did it. So that's why I think that this is a very important way to say that the P.I.L.L method and the software, the coaching is a better way to eliminate debt. And it's a cheaper way to do it as well. This is Dawn. I'm done speaking.
Wow, wow, wow. So listen, when you're talking about cheaper, okay? So if we're saying here that, watch this. So he's saying that you don't need an expensive piece of software to do this. You can just do this on your own. Watch. So if we're saying this, then if I just do this on my own and I spend 2 years paying off the loan on my car, and I'm only saving a portion of $2,600 in interest, but by just making the minimum payments on this mortgage, in 24 months, I pay it down by $5,063.50, but it costs me $23,714.90 in interest to do that. Folks, is that being cost effective? Is that throwing away money? Is that the smart way to do this? So when Mr. Ramsey says it's not a math problem, it's a behavior problem, can we just bring it right back to saying, yes, it is a math problem. And once you solve the math problem, that will help you with your behavior problem, because I know people want to save money. How do I know that, Dawn? How do I know people want to save money? Because if you need gas today and there's 2 gas stations on the corner that you like, which gas station are you guys going to go to? Anybody?
The lower one.
Sam's Club.
If there's 2 gas stations on the corner, which one are you going to go to if you like it? All right. Somebody said the cheaper one. Okay. By how much money? By how much money cheaper? Anybody?
For me, it just depends if they're on the right side of the road. I might turn around for a nickel.
Okay. You see what I'm saying, folks? And you know it as well as I do. Some of you will make that choice over a penny a gallon. I'm going to go, listen, this one is $3.99. This one is $4. I'm going to the $3.99. And if it's a 17-gallon tank, even if you're completely empty, that's a 17-cent choice. Okay? 17 gallons times a penny, that's 17 cents. Right now, we've been using the P.I.L.L method. We've been using the snowball method for years. And because we get the good feelings of paying off the debt, and we have no idea how much interest we're consuming each month, I'm feeling good about paying off the car, but I did not know I just spent $23,714.90 in interest on my mortgage I could have avoided. That is a big difference, folks. That's a big difference. So this is why why is that important? Why do we need to bring that up? Because if we keep telling people to pay off the smaller loans first, because the whole system is based on the debt snowball. If I keep telling people to pay the smaller loans off first, but not pay attention to the interest cost, do you think he can tell people how it really works? Let's get ready to play this video one more time for the new people in the room so they can know what we're talking about. This is Mr. Ramsey on his show, and this is on his website. And again, I thank him for putting it on his website because it has over 1 million views, 1,072,267 views as of this morning. And listen closely and intently to this.
I am more of like a future planner. Like, I don't like to think just like, where are we going to be in 5 years? Like, I'm thinking more about the mortgage when my husband graduates, because we'll have a much larger income. Mm-hmm. And I have heard a lot about like prepaid interest or prepaid principal. Mm-hmm. And they don't really understand how that works. Like, I was watching the P.I.L.L method, and then he was talking about taking out loans, and I was like, this guy's a nut. So I just stopped listening to it. Yeah. But that's kind of where I was at, was how do principal payments work?
Yeah.
How do they work? And then he says he is a nut, and then never answers her question.
Hey, Dawn.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. So I think another thing I want to just point out, because I want you to touch on it, is that another difference between the debt snowball and what you're teaching as the P.I.L.L method is the debt snowball is simply like you're going from smallest to largest, right? And it's not talking about interest. So we talked about that. But also, as a coach, as a Dave Ramsey coach, we don't really get into let me say this. I took the class because I wanted to crack the code. I wanted to get behind the scenes in Dave Ramsey's program. So I couldn't make a different decision and teach my clients the same. So, but what I like about the P.I.L.L method is that there's quantitative data behind it, right? So the only thing that his program does, I shouldn't say only, but it goes smallest to largest, and then there's a couple of steps to follow. But he never teaches how to read an amortization schedule, nor billing cycle, pay dates, and how important that is to building wealth and the cost effectiveness of being able to understand those tools combined to be able to pay it off. A lot of times it's still sooner and cheaper, right? So I think those are the things that when I have to compare the two, one is very simple and basic for everyone to understand. And I think yours is advanced, but you have found a way to take a simple concept, a complex concept, simple. So people try to compare them, but there really is no comparison. So this is Dawn. I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Dawn. Listen, we have some new people on the stage right now. And so let's go ahead. And if you have a comment to make or a question to ask, please flash your mic. And we want to listen to you. What do you got for us today?
I would like to say, Dawn, that the difference is, to add on to what Dawn is saying, is that we're speaking about generalization versus precise formula. So, of course, when you're doing it as a generalization, you're paying off the debt blindly, but you're showing how they're going to save when they use your formula.
All right, thank you very much. And so we have billionaires on the stage this morning, Miss Billionaires. Thank you for coming into the room today.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So listen, tell us who you are and what you do, please.
I am a business coach. Actually, I work with entrepreneurs and helping them scale their businesses. So I work with anybody, mostly focus on female entrepreneurs, but I work with anybody. I've spent over 25 years in the industry working in the business development area, working at buying healthcare facilities, etc. And I'm so glad I jumped in this room because I'm looking at possibly doing a refinance on my home, and I'm listening intently because when I went over some of the numbers with the banker yesterday, he was not answering certain questions I had. And this amortization table, I just opened mine up on my mortgage as you were talking, and I was looking at how it is structured. I think most people don't even look at that table, and most of your banks don't even give it to you. But mine is online, so I'm taking a closer look to see how I can accelerate my payoff through the P.I.L.L method and forget about refinancing. So thank you so much, Don.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. And so we have, let's go right down the line. So
let me cut you for a second, Don.
Go ahead.
Something important that Dawn just mentioned. She said, I want you guys to think just for a second of driving from New York to Miami. You can use the paper map and you can take your chances. Or you can use the Waze application and get the shortcut exactly where the police are staked out while you're traveling. You can use the Waze map, guys, which is the P.I.L.L method, or you can use the paper map, which was done like 40 years ago. So what you're doing, Don, is, yeah, you can save money using almost any product, but what you found was how to save the most money through the process. And that's something very important that I want to focus on. How to save the maximum amount in the process. I just want to put that back onto you, Don.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. So Karen, is it Kieran or Karen? What do you have to say for us to us this morning? Good morning.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Great and happy day to all of you. It feels like I'm in a room with family. Hi, Michelle. Good morning.
Hey, Karan.
How are you? This is a great, great room. So I have definitely been in Mr. Don's presence, and I love the pill method. And I think the word I have for this morning is like understanding. And so, Don, the question I think I have for you this morning is, let's say someone just got introduced to the pill method, but they've had their home for maybe about 15 years now. They're considering whether to refinance or to just implement the pill method right now, eliminating the interest to be able to pay off the mortgage a lot faster. The home is worth, let's say it's worth 500,000. They've got a balance at around 300,000. I know you may not have all the information, but let me know what else you may need to be able to make a more informed decision.
Okay, so first of all, why are they refinancing?
Let's say, want to free up some equity. They're an investor. They want to maximize how much cash they have access to, cash flow.
That's one of the only reasons that refinancing makes sense, So what are you asking me? Should they refinance or not?
Should they refinance, or should they or should they just start eliminating some of the interest using the pill method?
Well, see, here's the thing. If they're trying to take out cash, then the pill method isn't going to help them take the cash out of their walls. Okay. That's number one. Number two is this. I would highly recommend getting a HELOC, because as soon as you take that cash, if you cash out, refi, take all that cash out immediately, you start paying interest on it immediately. Okay. If I can get 80% of my equity through a HELOC, it's on standby. It's available to me. I just haven't used any of it yet. As soon as I use $10,000 of it, then I start paying interest on the 10,000 of that I've used. If I use 100,000, I start paying interest on that. So I would first of all get a HELOC and then get the pill method to manage the whole thing. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Perfect.
Okay. Because see, folks, let's get out of the idea that it's about the debt. Some people are trying to make debt a bad word. It's not a bad word. What we need to do is figure out how it all works so we can take advantage of it. I love the bank. I love the bank. They've got a product I need. They got money. Okay. But what I want to do is be an educated consumer so that I can borrow money at a discount. Then it increases my profitability, Ms. Karan. How do you feel about that?
I feel absolutely great about that, Don. I love the pill method, and I love the way you teach it. I understand the amortization schedule more since the time that I've read your book and had the pleasure of speaking to you. So great information. Always great to be in your presence.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for buying the book and reading the book. And folks, please if you get the book and you read the book, please review the book. Read the book, review the book. Read the book, review the book. Please give us the review that you believe that we deserve. 5-star. Listen, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about today. All right. And listen,
if they read the 5-star book, if they read the 5-star book, they're free to give you a 5-star review. Is that what you say, Don?
Yeah, that's what you said.
There we go. That part.
Listen. I also want to tell you, because 10K is here, in honor of Mr. 10K today, I'm going to make sure if you get the book today, follow the instructions on my 10K card, upload that receipt, and we will give you a basic 10K card that is valued at $100. Mr. 10K, can you give us a little insight on that?
Don, when you're in the middle of a war, right? I don't want to play with minimum. So here's what's gonna happen, guys. When you get the base, when you get the book today, pick up the book today, send me a copy of the receipt. Don is gonna take care of the basic 10K card. But what I'm gonna do something even better. I'm gonna take off $100 off of your upgrade. And I'll tell you why I want to take $100 off the upgrade. Because when you have that extra commission coming in from any cards that's purchased through your link, you can take that extra money and put it towards your principal. If you're going to fight the war against principal, guys, you want to have as many tools as possible available for you. So when you share the pro version of the 10K card and someone has decided to make a decision to purchase, 20% of their purchase goes to you. So my recommendation would be take that 20% that you're going to earn from that new purchase and put it towards your principal. That's the fight I want to get involved on. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Oh, listen, we're going to move right along. Dr. Wynn, how are you this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. I am outstanding, and I'm so glad to get in this room. You sure have some powerhouses with 10K and Jonathan and Credit Goddess. Wow, these are some awesome people I'm hearing from. So thank you for that. I wanted to say, I'm sorry. I am Dr. Wynn at Dr. Wynn Global. I am a licensed professional therapist where I give a safe place to upper echelon individuals to overcome depression, anxiety, trauma, and I help relationships to heal whole and get hot again. That's me. I'm Dr. Wynn. I make winners. So the thing I love about the P.I.L.L method is it provides the ability to increase and not take away from your generational wealth. I have a daughter, and I always think, what can I do to put her in a position to be better? First of all, learning how to get your mortgage paid in 5 to 7 years and overcoming the popular fear of the interest rate. Right now, I believe we're going in a place where houses will cost less, but the interest is going to be much higher on it. So even if you're looking at the what's his name?
Mr. Ramsey?
Yes, even if you're looking at Mr. Ramsey's system, which I have seen that. I have participated in that snowball method. It does not help you leave your children in a better position. It does not help you down the line because you're still spending great deals of money that you don't have to spend. I love the looking at the amount that you're actually spending. Is very similar to when you go buy a car and they say, oh, the payment on this car is only $250 a month, but the cost for that car is thousands of dollars more than a cost that would be somewhere as $400 a month or something like that. So if you can afford to do more, do more. And if you go into your bank, because after I listened to you the first time, I didn't get your book. I'm gonna get that today. So woohoo, I'm gonna get the 10K card. So when I talked to my mom, I said, Mom, you got to get this amortization schedule from your bank. We got to get your house paid off much faster and for much less money. Well, she went to the bank. First of all, the bank teller didn't know what she was talking about.
Amen.
She had to go to the banker. The banker gave her a sheet. And I said, okay, Mom, this is great for today. But next month, after you hit this sheet, it changes. So I believe, I'm not sure if it was Billionaires or Karen that just mentioned the change, but you have to pay attention. It's a moving document. It's a moving process, and know that most people don't know it. So thank you for sharing. I'm Dr. Wynn. I make winners, and I yield the mic.
Well, folks, before we're all done today, I'm going to put our program on the screen, and I'm going to show you that if we don't pay attention to some of the things that you're hearing today, it can cost you thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't have to pay all of that interest. We're going to make you feel good about how much money you save that you can put towards building generational wealth. Thank you, Dr. Wynn. I see Angela on the stage. Good morning, Miss Angela. Are you available to talk to us right about now? Angela going once, Miss Angela going twice. All right, Miss Angela, when you come back, go ahead and flash your mic. Miss Tandy.
Hey, Don.
Yes.
Don, this billionaire, I have a question for you because you raised the flag on something about
Come on.
borrowing money off of your house. The only reason you should be doing is to invest in other property. But you mentioned HELOC. So what you're really saying is that most people should not be refinancing to pay off those little nasty credit card bills. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, listen, that is the worst thing you can do. All right, let me show you why. Okay, now I'm gonna leave this. We're gonna come back here, but all of this is important in understanding the math, Miss Billionaires. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna bring up my amortization schedule again. All right, and I have. Let me bring up a new one. All right, so I've got a 300. Let me see. I got a $300,000 loan. Okay. $300,000 loan, Miss Billionaires. And it's right now, it's at about 6% interest. All right. So now I'm into this thing. Now watch this. So I paid this thing down. My payment is $1,798.65. And over, let's say in the first 5 years, I just paid it down by $20,000. Okay. Miss Billionaires, I don't know if you can see my screen, but in 5 years, I paid this loan down by $20,836, and I just listen. I just paid $87,000 in interest to do that. In 5 years, I paid out over $100,000. You follow me so far? So now I've got some equity. All right. I've got potential equity of about $20,008. I have some more equity because of market conditions. Oh, now I've got some high interest loans. I got some 10% loans. I got some 15% loans. I got some 20% loans. I'm going to take some cash out, and I am going to, and let's just say I can get a lower interest rate too. All right. Without having to pay for it. All right. You can't get it right now, but just to make your point, I'm going to pay off $40,000 in debt. All right, $40,000 in debt, and then we're going to my high interest loans. I'm going to roll it into this mortgage. You ready? Okay. So I'm paid down to $279,000. Right? I'm paid down to $279,000. I'm going to bring up my calculator. I'm just going to take out $40,000 in cash. Okay, I'm going to refinance. So I'm going to put in here my $279,000. Folks, if you want to see this, hit my 10K card at the top. If you're new to the room, you'll see the button that says "See Us Live." Click on that button, and then you'll see all of our links there. And then you can go on a separate device, like your tablet or your other computer, and you can watch these examples live. All right, $279,163.14. That's where I am now. Okay, and we're going to take out some cash. Right, we're going to pay off $40,000 worth of high interest bills. All right, and I'm going to put it in this 4% mortgage. Watch what we do here. So we're going to add another 40,000. Okay, I'm adding 40,000. So we're going to add that. All right, plus there's going to be a closing cost of about 10,000. So we got to add another 10,000 to it. So we're going to add one more. We're going to add some more money. We're going to add 10,000 plus 10,000. All right, equals $329,163.14. So that's where we are now. Okay. And it's going to be another 30-year loan, folks. Okay. So we're going to focus on, we're going to duplicate this tab. We're going to put in our $329,163.14. 329,000. 300. That's 400. Let me change that. 329,000. Bring up my calculator again. 163.14. All right. 163.14. 163.14. All right. And we get a new 4% loan. Boom, boom, boom. And so we were at 1798.65. And we're going to get that out of there. Delete that. And here's our new payment. Ooh, $1,500. So billionaires, we just paid off $40,000 in debt. Okay. We got a new refinance, and it cost us $10,000 for the finance, but our payment is $200 cheaper. Not only that, billionaires, but all of those minimum payments we don't have to make anymore. I've just probably saved myself another $500 a month in payments I don't have. That's how it's sold, correct?
You're right.
All right. So now I'm going to pay off $40,000. So now we're going to take a look at our amortization schedule. Now remember, how much did we pay for the closing costs?
$10,000.
$10,000. If you all are looking at this, in the first year on this mortgage, on the first year, I pay off this loan. Now I'm at 4%. Listen, I just saved 2 points. I'm down 2 whole points. But in 1 year, I paid this loan down by $5,796.75. I haven't even paid off the closing costs yet, billionaires. I just paid off half. And you know how much interest it cost me? $13,061 in the first year. What? All right. By the time I pay off the $10,000, okay, billionaires, okay, it's going to take me 21 months. 21 months just to pay off the closing costs in 21 months. And how much interest will I pay on that? $22,702.30. $22,000. So how much does the refinance actually cost me at this point, billionaires? $10,000 plus $22,000? Is that $32,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the refinance already cost me $32,000 while I thought I was saving money. All right. Now I just rolled in. Now let me ask you something. Billionaires, if you borrow $1 from me and I say to you, pay me $2 back tomorrow, what interest rate am I asking for?
100%.
100%. If you borrow $10,000, because when you roll that fee into the loan, you're actually borrowing an extra $10,000 from the bank. When you borrow $10,000 and you pay that $10,000 back and $10,000 in interest, what's the interest rate on that really?
100%.
What if you pay back $20,000 in interest?
200%.
What? 200%. 200%. Are you telling me this is how people with perfect credit pay 200% interest on a loan and they don't even realize that they're doing it? So,
right.
So listen, is this a math problem or is it just a behavior problem? Folks, this is a math problem. When you solve the math problem, you are well on your way to solving the behavior problem. All right. So now we haven't even talked about the 40 grand, have we, billionaires?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Let's just forget about. Let's say you got a deal and they didn't charge you any closing costs. All right. So now all we have to do is pay back the 40 grand. That our highest interest rate was 27% on a credit card, right? So we got rid of all those credit cards and all those other loans. But by the time we pay off $40,000, billionaires, it's going to take us 75 payments. Okay. 60 payments is 5 years. That's 6 years. It's going to take us a little over 6 years to pay off that $40,000. Guess how much interest we're going to pay on that now? $77,525.57.
That's almost 200%.
This is why you don't roll in debt into your mortgage thinking you're doing it at 4% when you're actually doing it at almost 200% interest.
Wow, Don. Did everyone catch that?
Are you hearing me, folks?
Yes, Lord.
All right. So listen, thank you very much for that, Miss Billionaires. So we got Miss Angela. Have we talked to you yet? All right. Miss Tandy, you were flashing your mic.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, everyone in the room. I was just flashing because, yes, I did understand exactly everything you said. Um, I jumped in the room. My name is Tandy, everyone. I am from Chicago. I am a transportation business for the most part, but I do own property and I just purchased like some tax lien properties. But my main concern is, me listening to the P.I.L.L method sounds more like a lot of the just consolidating your bills, and that does work as well. But in my case, I have three properties that I own free and clear. So I was kind of like on the fence of should I just take the equity out, rent the property out, and just keep it going, or should I just sell it, completely free and clear? So I did just jump in the room. I'll say within the last maybe 30, 40 minutes I've been listening in, but I have been learning. But if you can answer that question for me.
All right, let's take a quick look at something here. I'm going to pull up on another screen here. Watch this, and all right, I'm pulling this up. All right, and we're going to change screens here. This is an example of a client of mine. Okay, and who is that, Miss Tandy?
Yes, sir, it's me.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Now's not the time to get rid of your properties.
Okay.
Now's not the time to get rid of your properties. Take that equity and leverage it. Okay. Because if you take that property and leverage it, you can make down payments on several other properties with a certain amount of money. Don't take all of your money and dump it into one. Take some of that money and spread it out over several. Just make the down payments on them and get loans on the rest. Here's what one of my clients is doing now. They've been into this for a while. I want to show you something here. All right. So this is and this is a female real estate investor. I wanted to find something that you could relate to. Okay. Got 6 properties here. Okay. All right. And I need you to see something that's going to be very, very important. In the time that she's had this property, okay, in one property, all right, she's paid and at 4.25% in 251 months. She's paid it down by $150,000, but it cost her $183,000 in interest to do that. Why didn't she care about how much interest she was paying? Do you know? Why do you think? Because she's a real estate investor. Remember that.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. So why didn't she care how much interest she was paying? Because the tenants are paying the bill. She's cash flowing on all these properties. Every single one. She is her mortgage payments are far below the amount of interest she's the amount of rent she's bringing in. But she never paid attention to how much interest she's paying. You see what I mean?
Okay.
All right. So on the first one, she's paid $183,000 in interest. On this one, she's paid it down by $32,000, but she's paid $96,000 in interest on that one. So when you receive your rent checks, Miss Tandy, how much of that money is yours as soon as you receive it? How much of that money is yours?
All of it.
All of it. How much do you want to keep?
All of it.
But we know we can't. So we're going to try to keep as much of it as we can, correct?
Yeah.
So of all the money she was bringing in, $96,000 went out just so that she can pay off $32,000 in her debt. Do you realize she could have kept more of that interest and didn't have to pay it? Watch this. So just for time's sake, we're going to take a look at all the interest she's paid off already. Okay. So her interest cost on everything is $763,192.44. Okay. To pay off $415,000 worth of debt. So she's paid off $415,000 of her debt, but it cost her $763,000 in interest. You follow me so far?
I got you.
Okay, good. So now here's how much debt she still has left to go on her 6 properties. $1,292,000. She still owes that. How much interest is she supposed to pay from this point on? $651,000. $651,000. So, and it's going to take her 26 years to finish off. All right, you got me so far?
Okay.
By using interest cancellation techniques, she's only going to pay $236,000 in interest to pay off the $1,292,000 that she owes, and she's going to be done in 7.6 years. That's saving her $419,000, almost $420,000 in interest, because now we're paying attention to the interest cost. So,
okay,
is she acquiring the same asset? The 6 houses, is she acquiring the same assets?
yes. I'm sorry, I was getting a text. Yes.
Right. So, but is she acquiring the assets at almost $420,000 less in interest?
Yes, because she's saving a lot.
Then what can she do with that $420,000 in interest that she now does not have to give the bank?
Invest it.
What?
Okay.
What are you saying there? We need to pay attention to what's going on here. And this is the importance of why we need to pay attention to interest cost, and why there is a danger in adopting a philosophy or a methodology that does not pay attention to interest cost while you're getting out of debt. It's not just about the interest rate, folks. It's not about paying off the debt fast. It's about paying off the debt cheap. Remember at the beginning of this, where I showed where 20%, only about 20% of your money goes to principal in the early years, and about 80% goes to interest. What if we could turn that around out of the money that we're making? Or if you're a W-2 employee, you're not even an investor, you're a W-2 employee. Do you want to switch that around so more of your money that you're already making goes to principal and less goes to interest? And it's not a small amount. Do you know, I had a guy that came to me not too long ago that said, you know what? I was watching this Debt Snowball thing, and he has a $700,000 mortgage at 4%. $700,000 at 4%. And I didn't know it at the time, but he was telling me the whole story. All right. And he just paid, he says, I got all this money. He makes good money, and he's paying off his car. Okay. He took 40 grand out of the bank and paid off his car. All right. And when he paid off his car, he says, now the $700 I'm no longer paying off the car. I'm using the Debt Snowball. I'm going to take that and add it to my mortgage payment every month. I said, okay. I said, why are you telling me this? Because that's what the experts are teaching. Why are you telling me this? He says, because I saw one of your videos and I'm wondering if I did it wrong. I said, well, let me ask you a question. When you paid off your car with your 40 grand that you took out of the bank, when you paid off your car, how much interest did you save? He says, I don't know. I said, well, let's figure it out. He said, I saved $7,700. So I showed him where he saved $7,700 in interest by paying off the car. All right. Now, if he was to now I said, let's take a look at your mortgage. All right. If we had put that $40,000 on your mortgage, watch this. If you see it on the screen here, okay, $700,000, 40%, we're going to go down to $40,000. If he had put that $40,000 on his mortgage, he would have knocked off over 3 years off his mortgage and saved $86,000 in interest. Folks, do you see why it is important? Not just to pay stuff off fast, but to pay it off cheap. I got a question here from online. All right, here's our question online from SBD 1971. Says, does the same principle work in the UK? It most certainly does. We have clients in London right now. Okay, so yes, it does work in the UK. It works all over. All we need to do is exchange a word. Instead of dollars, it's pounds. That's it. The math is the same. All right. Excellent, excellent. So who haven't we talked to this morning? Let's see. Miss Dion, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Don. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. What do you have to say to us this morning?
First of all, good morning, everyone. I'm Dion Green. My husband and I, we live here in the DMV area, and just introduced to Mr. Don just a few short months ago. And I'm always mind blown every time I come in your room, and in that aha moment that everyone gets, that's how I felt, and it's always I laugh when people get the aha moment. My husband and I are approaching our 90-day, I believe, Mr. Don, our 90-day moment here in October. Where we will be knocking out 4 or 5 of our debts. And we're just still amazed at this program, at what we're saving. And just finally, the math is mathing. And it's just an awesome feeling to know that we'll have all of our debts and our properties paid off here the next 4 years, 4.1 years. And I love watching that number go down. So thank you, Mr. Don.
Wow. How many years did you have when you first started? When you first started with the P.I.L.L. method?
It was 4.8, and now we're at 4.1.
No, before you met the P.I.L.L. method. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, before. That's a good question. Yeah, that number I didn't know.
I can.
Other than just of course the 30-year mortgage, but
Okay.
We're just.
And how long were you in your 30-year mortgage before you started with us? Let's ask that.
How long? Let's see. We purchased our we're military, so wherever we go, we always purchase a home, and then we just turn it into investment property. Then we move on. So, 2011. We have a home in Alaska, so we purchased it in 2011.
Okay, 2011. So about 11 years.
Yes.
Okay, so about 19 years left on that one, and now you're going to have all of your debt paid off in how long?
4.1 years.
4.1 years. And saving how much? And it's because of all the interest you save, correct?
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. All right, folks, you heard it. So we're listening. That's why we want to pay attention to how much interest we're paying on these loans. All right. So we'll invite some other folks up to speak. All right. And let me see. Who haven't we talked to on the stage this morning? Oh, my goodness. More and more people are popping up all the time. Miss Brenda. All right, go ahead, Miss Brenda. Talk to us this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Don.
Good morning, Miss Brenda.
I just wanted to say, I've been in the P.I.L.L. method. I don't think I've been in a year yet, and I started out with $86,000. Now I'm down to $50,000 in less than a year. So in the next 6 months or less, I should be paid for property. And I just can't understand how people don't see how this program is so sufficient and efficient. It's like it's just awesome. And I'm so glad I got into this program, and I'm trying to teach my family, trying to show them how efficient it is. But I thank you, Don. And I got another property, and we're working on that also. But thanks, Don, so much for this program. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are so entirely welcome. Folks, listen, I had to get back into, because we're at the top of the hour, okay? We're at the top of the hour. And one of the reasons why we want to pay attention to this, we're going to do a quick reset. If you have not joined the Mortgage Syndicate, please do. Go ahead and click on the Mortgage Syndicate and join this club, a fabulous club. Also, click my profile and join the P.I.L.L. Method Club as well, where we go over this kind of information and why it is so important. Why it is so important we need to set the debt snowball aside. We need to set it aside and stop paying all of our money towards interest. Let me tell you something, because we do not understand this. If you use the debt snowball and the P.I.L.L. method side by side, two families have the exact same financial footprint. The family that uses the P.I.L.L. method will pay on average $50,000 to $70,000 less in interest paying off their debt. That is a lot of money. Now, You can't measure. You don't miss what you cannot measure. The person that uses the debt snowball will feel good about paying off their debt. They'll never know that they paid $50,000 to $70,000 in interest more than they needed to pay to do it. It is important. It is important to conserve that money while you're getting out of debt and focus on the true problem with the debt. It is how much it costs. Manage the cost. Manage the cost. And you will be able to leverage money more efficiently. And that's what we're talking about today. All right. So we're going to listen. I need to take a quick break here. And to take that break, we're going to ask Dr. Eric Thomas, because we have a lot of testimonials today. I have one more testimonial I want to share with you right now. And this is from Dr. Eric Thomas. You know, people call him E.T. the hip hop preacher. And listen, he'll tell you that money is no longer one of his problems. Money is not one of his problems, but he used the P.I.L.L method to pay off his home. And he's going to tell you why it made a difference in his home. Listen to this right about now. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L Method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to pillmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today. All right, folks, listen, go ahead and do that. If you click on the link above my head, this is the P.I.L.L Method. This is my 10K card. There's a button that says get a savings and earnings report. Follow all of the instructions. And by following those instructions, one of my staff will give you a call once you put in your financial data. We can tell you the month, day, and year you will be debt free and how much interest you can save. And we're going to show you how to do that efficiently with your current budget, and you don't have to sacrifice lifestyle. So go to that button, get your savings and earnings report today. Oh my goodness. Listen, folks, all you have to, the only thing you have to save is your children's inheritance, because right now, a lot of us are spending our children's inheritance on interest. And we don't have to. It is not required. I'm telling you, it's the best thing since sliced bread. And Dawn was right. It is a better way to eliminate debt. Both ways work. But listen, it's about time we started using technology to beat the bank at their own game. They're using technology. Why can't we use technology to save the maximum amount of interest per dollar? Let me put our program on the screen right now. This is how our program actually looks and works. I want to put it on the screen right now, and I'm going to go into a couple of examples here. But before we do that, we have some people who are waiting patiently. We're at 33 shares. Can I get a few more shares in while we talk to some new people that have come to the stage? Miss Shirley, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. I'm new to this. I just came in, so I didn't hear the whole program, but I am. I did click on the link, and I'm signing up to get the information.
Well, Miss Shirley, you know what's great about this, because you are in here, you can hear the whole replay when it's all over. Plus, you can watch everything we talked about online as well. How about that?
That's awesome. Where is it online?
On YouTube, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook.
Awesome.
Okay, so if you click on my 10K card above here, and you will actually see when you go to the link, you will actually see watch us live, or you can go on these other platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and just search P.I.L.L Method. In fact, if you all have an opportunity, Google P.I.L.L Method. Google it and see that it takes up practically the first 3 pages. I mean, right now, if you Google P.I.L.L Method, you don't even see anything about birth control until like page 2 or 3. That's how popular this is. And I need to thank Dave Ramsey for that, because the video that we showed has over 1 million views, and he has added to our SEO. So I thank him for that, for putting that video out. And so, because every time people mention the P.I.L.L Method, do you think some of these people actually go and look and see what it's all about? Because if Dave Ramsey calls this guy a nut, let me go and see why he calls this guy a nut. And this is what the nut has to say. All right. Thank you, Miss Shirley. Do you have anything else for us this morning?
No, I'll watch.
All right. And I'm going to play that video again, folks, before it's all over, to see what Mr. Ramsey has to say about the P.I.L.L Method. Lady Ms., how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Do you have a comment or question for us this morning?
Yes, I actually have a question. I wanted to know if what I did was right or wrong. I normally never really trust the banks either. And right now, me and my husband, what we just did was we took a home equity line of credit out to pay off our rental property. When I looked at the numbers, the interest rate was higher on the loan from the rental property, and we have someone in there right now who's paying. So I figured to kind of eliminate that, so that now we own it free and clear, and we'll save money over time and just put extra money into it. But I am nervous a little bit because we took the equity out of our residential home where we live. So I'm just, listening to you and trying to understand the P.I.L.L Method, trying to understand, was that a good decision? Was it a bad one? And how do I pay it off quicker? So I'm definitely going to check that out.
Okay, so here's what I just heard. You just said that you had equity that was locked into the walls of your house.
Yes.
And you got a HELOC.
Correct.
Which unlocked that equity.
Right.
And you used it to buy a money-making asset.
I used it to pay off.
Yes.
Yes.
To pay off a money-making asset and create more equity.
Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out where we're going wrong here.
Well, okay, let me tell. Okay, you know what? I left this part out.
Okay.
This is the part that got me nervous, because I'm like always so nervous with these banks. I feel they're never doing anything in the best interest of us. It's always in the best interest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was telling my husband, when we first started, we was at a certain percentage rate.
Right.
And then he said, "Oh, you're gonna have 0%, which is great for this amount of time, but then after that, it's going to go strictly into a interest only loan." And I don't like, and I know what that means. You're hoping that, I just pay the interest only with time, so that I still owe all this money in the end. So that's where I was kind of like thrown off. I was like,
I got you.
Think they're doing us a favor? Yeah. So it threw me for a loop. So I was really trying to understand, maybe wrap my brain around it, because I was like, I don't get this. But of course, I know, like I explained to my husband, hey, we're not going to pay interest only, all right? Because I don't trust this at all. We're going to pay more money into this so that we can pay it off quicker. But I was looking at it. I'm like, am I thinking right here? I just want to make sure.
Let me tell you something. If all of my loans were interest only loans, I would love it. Oh,
Okay.
Listen, are you watching this? Are you watching this on screen as well?
I am not, because I clicked on it. I was having a hard time.
All right. So are you on your computer?
No, I'm on my phone, but let
Okay,
me get my iPad.
Yeah,
get
your iPad, because and just go to YouTube and then search P.I.L.L method, and you'll see the live. Okay.
Okay.
All right, because I want to put something on here. I'm going to get you an idea of what's happening here, because if you have an interest only loan, you are in complete control of that loan.
Okay.
And how much interest you pay. And I just love it. And we're going to point out some things here. Folks, this is why you need to know the difference between interest rate and interest cost. And you need to control interest cost. Okay, make sure you turn the volume down on that iPad.
Yep, I did. Sorry about that.
All right, that's okay. So listen, I'm going to put this on here. All right. So how much is a HELOC? How much did you take out?
Just 100,000.
Just 100,000.
Yes.
All right, 100,000. And what's the interest rate?
The interest rate,
approximately.
It's around 2.85.
2.85, and it's probably a variable rate loan, correct?
Right.
And I'm not afraid, and I tell you folks, I'm not afraid of variable rate loans. I'm telling you right now, I'm not afraid of them. All right. So your amortization is probably a 360-month amortization, but the term is probably a 10-year term, meaning it will, unless you do something, this is going to revert to a regular principal and interest loan in 10 years. Is that how it's set up?
Well, the way they said it was, okay, this 2.85 is for a certain period of time. And, I think 18 months, I'm sorry. And then it goes to 3 point something, close to 4%.
Hold on for a second. Let's just pretend it's at 4% now. Let's give it the worst.
Okay.
I need the worst case scenario here.
Okay, yeah. So put it at 4.
All right, watch this. Okay, so if it's at 4% on this loan, okay, your payment is going to be like $477.42, and the interest payment is $333.33. Okay. If you just pay the interest, all right, the interest is calculated. I love interest only loans. On $100,000, here is their interest payment. For the next 5 years, if you just pay the interest, you will still owe $100,000.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So now your payment is based on what? I need you to repeat this to me for everybody on the stage. Your payment is based on what?
Wait, my payment is based on.
If you make the interest only payment,
if I make it's just the payment would just be, I would just be paying the interest only.
Right. Okay. So it's based on how much you owe right now.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you something. If you were to, now I'm looking at this. When the screen stops moving, if you were to, when you make your $333.33 interest payment, if you give the bank an extra $144.09 with that, do you realize you never have to pay that interest? You can knock out a whole interest payment. Okay. Plus, you don't owe $100,000 anymore. How much do you owe on the principal balance on the first line?
The 99,000.
Yes. 99,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So now your interest payment on a 99,000, if you don't do anything else, your interest payment on the $99,855.91 is how much money?
The interest is 333.
Next line.
332.
Yes. Yes. Well, listen, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Huh?
No, I'm just because I figured to not just to pay the 100 to put.
I know,
like,
I know,
take
but
the
I'm going
full,
slow.
Amount
I'm going
that we were
slow.
getting from our tenant.
Yes.
And just pay it fully.
How much you getting? How much you getting from your tenant?
2,000.
$2,000.
And that's way under market.
$2,000. Okay. Can I show you something?
Yes.
Can I show you? Now, just because of this, if you give the bank an extra $2,000, are you seeing cumulative principal here?
No, well, I don't understand
that's
that.
That's the third column, cumulative principal. That is all the principal payments added up.
Oh, okay.
That's all your principal payments added up. And this is why most people don't have this where the math is already done for them. We're going to add up all the principal and all the interest payments. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, so if you give the bank an extra $2,000 on top of your payment, okay, the closest I can come is right here, $2,061. You seeing that? That's on line 14 of this schedule.
Yes, 14. Okay, I see it now.
Right.
Yep.
Right. If you do that, pay that extra $2,061 on top of the 333. Guess what happens?
What?
You see this $4,295.41. Wait till you see that come on your screen. That's how much interest you just saved by doing that.
That's how much I save within a month or within a what's
month.
the time frame there we're talking?
1 month.
Really?
Because you're paid if you give them the extra $2,000, you're paid down to line 14 on the schedule. Right now, in 1 month.
So how long, that's what I was trying to figure out. How long will it take me to clear that up? Because what I want to do is
I don't
pay
know.
this off fast so I could purchase more like multifamily homes.
Okay, so you don't want to pay it off then. You want to put yourself in a position to cash out refi years sooner.
Right. Well, what they said was that if we pay it off, after 10 years, we can, if we use it again, it just restarts all over in a sense where we always have access to that cash no matter what.
Yeah, you can reapply. But you don't see, here's the thing. If you're not careful, and folks, this is going to be so important in the last few minutes here, and we're going to, and I want to say hi to everybody else. And we're going to let you go online in the next 4 minutes, but I'm going to stick around on Clubhouse because we got some good information here. Hold on for just a second here. I got to take a look and see, and finish this up. Hold on. Let me take a look here. What's going on? And my calendar. Okay. All right. I have to be done. I have to be done at 11 a.m. Central Time. Okay. I got to be done at 11 a.m. Central Time. We're going to let everybody go here and we can move over to like Zoom. And if you want to see these, and if you want to see, we can watch this on Zoom. And you want to write this down, don10kzoom.com, don10kzoom.com, and we can go over to Zoom here in just a minute. So, so back to you, lady. So what we're talking about is if you put this money on, all right, and now how much do you owe?
On the home, the HELOC?
Right. If you put that money on, how much would you owe on the HELOC?
Not the 97,000.
Right, the 97,938.49. So if your payment is based on how much you owe, what is your new payment? It's on the very next line. What is your new payment?
The new payment is 150 because it's based
No,
on
no,
your
no, no,
balance,
no, no,
right?
no, no, no. This is the interest.
Oh, I'm looking at the principal. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so the new payment is 326.
So let's back up a little bit. You started out at a payment of 333 interest only. Are you telling me every time you make payments on principal, you control what your minimum payment is going to be from now on?
Well, you kind of do, because every time you're paying down the balance, the payment is based off of what you owe, and that's what that percentage is.
Do you see why I love an interest-only loan? Because you are in complete control of what your payment is going to be and how much interest you can save.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to know more about this, before we go away, and I want everybody to hear this, before we go away, online, if you want to know more about this, on how to do this correctly and how to do it efficiently, you need a computer to go into this. And I'm going to spend the last half hour going over the computer system that does all of this for you, that tells you how much money to move, what month to do it in, what day of the month to do it on, and to show you how it's more efficient, way more efficient, by tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest more efficient than the Debt Snowball. The Debt Snowball has worked, but it costs people way more interest than they need to pay. And that is hurtful and harmful. We need to stop it. All right. And we're going to get into that a little bit more, but go to the 10K card up above, ice10k.com. And you will find a button there that says get a savings and earnings report. Fill out all the information there. All right. Follow all the instructions. We need that financial data. And one of my assistants will give you a call and we'll go over that. We'll get you a consultation, and you will know the month, day, and year you can be debt free and how much interest you can save. And here's the last piece. And I'm going to show this after we come back from the break. You do not want to put more money on at the wrong time. There is a point at which more is too much. I'm going to get into that right now. If you put too much money on paying off your debt too fast, it can hurt you financially. And I'm going to go over that after we come back from this quick break. I want to say goodbye to everybody who is watching us on Twitter, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. I got to say goodbye to you because we're only on here for 2 hours. If you all want to come back on and watch more, we're going to be on Facebook, on Zoom here. Go to ice10kzoom.com, ice10kzoom.com. Somebody put that in the chat. So if you want to see this, we're going to switch over to Zoom here in a minute. I want to say goodbye to everybody, and we'll be back here on Wednesday, where we're going to be talking about tiny homes. All right. And the tiny home plug is going to be with us. And we're going to talk about tiny homes and how all of that works, what that means for you as far as investments, and how that can make you money and save you money to pay off that investment using the P.I.L.L method. I'll see you on Wednesday. We're going to hear our last words from Dr. Eric Thomas. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to pillmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today.